2016. They averaged about 4.5 runs per game and 1 home run last year. Runs increased slightly while the long ball average was down a tick. This year, much better production, 9 runs per game and an average of 3 balls hit over the wall, guys.
Yeah, 15 home runs in the 5 games here. But tonight, facing a guy in Kyle Freeland, and Oral, if you're going to dock Rockies hitters like a lot of people do for the Coors Field effect, the inflated numbers, then you have to look at Kyle Freeland and talk about what he's doing, and it's extra special. 218 earned run average at Coors Field would be by far the best ever for a pitcher in this ballpark.
He's absolutely thrown fantastic here, getting a lot of ground balls. The arsenal is a fastball, cutter, slash slider, and a changeup. During the latest hot streak, a few more changeups for strikes, and getting a little bit more action on that. But the foundation of his season and his success is the fastball, slider, and cutter combination. And the reason I say cutter and slider, because sometimes it's real short and thrown a little harder, and sometimes it's a little bigger.
Take a look at the lineup that he'll face off with for Game 3. Brian Dozier to lead things off with the lefty on the mound. Manny Machado's back in there after having last night out of the starting lineup. Then Turner hitting third, Hernandez, Kemp, and Muncy in the middle. Cody Bellinger gets the day off with the left-handed starter. Puig and Barnes in right and catching. Dodgers are 2-2 on this road trip. 11-10 since the All-Star break. All against contending teams. Well, the Rockies at 3-7 in August start the game 2.5 back of the Dodgers and the D-backs. Off we go with a bouncing ball to Ryan McMahon, who's making the start for Nolan Arenado tonight. And 1 pitch, 1 out for Kyle Freeland. The Dodgers winning the opener Thursday 8-5. The Rockies coming back, winning last night 5-4. The man that made that play in Ryan McMahon was the hero last night with a 2-run home run. Here's Manny Machado. 10 consecutive games without an RBI. That is the longest stretch of his career.
During that stretch, he's had some men on third and less than 2 outs, and it's usually been a strikeout.
He takes strike 1. In this series, he's 2 for 6, but all 4 outs that he's made have been strikeouts. A bit concerning, the climb in those strikeout totals lately, and really since coming over to the Dodgers. Strikeout numbers were close to what he was doing in Baltimore when he was among the very best at avoiding them. On this 1-1 from Freeland, he drills it to left center field. Parra won't get there. That'll split the gap. Manny Machado's got a double. And he made the strikeouts the headline there, but last 5 games he's hitting close to 400.
It's a big swing with a lot of contact here. Gets to extend his arms, and it was beautiful. Great rhythm and pass at that ball.
So a chance for the Dodgers to get one here in the first with Justin Turner coming up. Turner going through a really good stretch. He's been very comfortable the last few days. And since coming back from the DL about a week and a half ago, he's hitting .357. Here he takes strike 1.
Yeah, during this hot streak, he has gone line to line. I mean, he has hit some balls down the right field line, stayed right on him, hit him hard. And then he's hit some balls down the left field line and not hooked them foul.
Lifts this one to center field. Blackman's back on it to the warning track, and it's over his head and off the wall. Turner's around second, on his way to third. RBI triple. And the Dodgers with a couple of loud swings in this first inning to start the scoring.
Another rhythmic and beautiful pass. One goes to left center, triples alley, but Machado gets a double. This one by Justin Turner, I think he thought when he originally hit it, it was going to be out of here, but no. But it caroms off the wall in center, angles back towards right, and he makes it to third easily.
With his first triple, by the way, in 2 years. So he's at third with one out. Here's Kike Hernandez. Starting out of the cleanup spot tonight, taking strike one. One ball, one strike. Kike had last night off. Opener of the series was 1 for 2. Tried to backdoor him with his slider, but it missed. 2-1. Slider, if you ask a lot of the charting data, if you ask the computers. Cutter, if you ask Kyle Freeland. Three and one. What are you going with?
I go with what the size of the break is. If I see it breaking a little bit bigger, I think it's more of a slider or even a flat curveball. Some of them are so big. And then the shorter ones, I read them more as a cutter. There's a lot of pitchers around the leagues that describe it differently than they're charted.
That ball is going to reach the seats.
It's a psychological thing for the pitchers, though. I think that because the fingers the catcher puts down, what you then call what those fingers are is 3 a slider, is 3 a cutter, is 2 the curveball, is 2 with a wiggle, the slow curveball. It actually gives you the beginning of processing how to execute the pitch. And sometimes your body can take on the shape of the pitch. Sometimes you have little faults in your rhythm and your mechanics.
It's a big strikeout. Hernandez unable to bring a man in from third. 2 gone.
It's the responsibility of hitting fourth. A lot of times down in the order, you don't get these situations quite as often because the hitters around you aren't quite as consistent. But at the top of the order, those are your best hitters to get the most at bats, and you're going to get up there with that guy on third in less than 2 outs.
And now with 2 out, it's Matt Kemp. Yesterday off. Final at bat on Thursday night. Crushed a double. Hardest hit ball we've seen from him in a long time. Quickly 0-2. Freeland to Kemp, 0-2. Kemp takes this one in the dirt. A ball and 2 strikes. This is a spot where Kyle Freeland has been exceptional. Runners in scoring position in 2 outs this year. Opponents are hitting 100. They're 5 for 50. That continues here. Dodgers unable to plate Turner after his 1-out triple, but they do get one. And Walker Buehler has a lead to work with as he takes the mound in this very hitter-friendly ballpark, but armed with that new curveball here in Game 3. There is no Nolan Arenado. He will miss tonight's game with that shoulder that is not a big deal, he says. It's a precautionary thing that he's been feeling for a few days, and there's a good chance Arenado's back in there tomorrow. Today it's Ryan McMahon starting at third. Charlie Blackmon leading things off for these Rockies against Walker Buehler, whose first pitch of the night misses up and away. Talked about it off at the top of the show. The last 2 games in ERA around 2. And he's been riding that curveball. Back-to-back fastballs, 1-1.
And the curveball, because he can land an off-speed pitch, really staying away from the changeup almost completely now. It gives him that good change of speeds between his outstanding fastball.
Nice play. Manny Machado. 1 gone.
Walker throws the breaking ball, and Manny says, I will catch it for you. And boy, this is tremendous defense. He's in on the grass like there's a man on third. He's protecting against some of the Rockies have been showing bunts with the shift the Dodgers have been employing. With great hands, and after he catches it, the play is over other than the fun part, throwing it to first.
One nothing Dodgers in the first. Here's DJ LeMahieu. Buehler starts him with a fastball. Walker Buehler the last 2 starts has thrown 47 curveballs. Prior to that, he was averaging 10 per game. And the hope is that one of the side benefits is that the curveball is going to play better in an atmosphere like the one here.
Well, the first 3 starts off the DL, the fastball was getting hit around at 409. I think it's no oddity that with the ability to land that curveball, the fastball now the last couple starts only hit at 182. So I think the combination of the speeds now is not only the curveball is good, but the fastball is better because of it.
Heavy on that fastball so far. Sticks with it here. He's been 97 and 98, which is even a tick above where he normally averages, about 96.
Fastball command has gotten better over the last couple starts also, and it's really important for him to get through the first inning. This is the inning that really kind of roughs him up until he gets his legs. I think he's a little bit more of a thrower coming out of the bullpen. We've noticed even coming on the broadcast that he kind of squeezes us with the time. It's like he's out there ready to go. And he's not one to just kind of take his 8 pitches after jogging out from the dugout and go slowly. He is like a caged tiger. He wants to get after it.
And when you say coming out of the bullpen, you mean before his pregame warm-ups as a starter?
Yeah, the bullpen here, and then coming out from the dugout and jogging out, and then he throws those warm-up pitches like one after another. There's no pause between them. He's ready to go.
Did that just happen?
I guess so.
That looks fake. Another 3-2, and LeMahieu takes it down and away for a 1-out walk. Carlos Gonzalez has recaptured that offensive ability the last couple months. As we talked about earlier in this series, it looked like Gonzalez could be headed for a release with the slow start. He was hitting around 200 month and a half into the season. Wasn't playing every day. Was struggling with that role, playing it for the first time in his career. But he has taken off, hitting .324 since late May. Take strike 1. One-on-one. There's a curve, and it's hit to right, base hit. First one that he throws, Gonzalez pounces on, and they're at first and second with 1 out.
It was a good pitch, but it was a really nice piece of hitting. Good timing with his leg kick, keeping the bat through the hitting area for a long time. You see that is not a bad pitch. Center cut, but outstanding movement and outstanding break there at the end. It's a good piece of hitting.
And it gives Colorado its first opportunity tonight with a man in scoring position. First time in baseball this year that a team wins a game when going 0 for 13 or worse with runners in scoring position like the Rockies did last night. And only the second time in the 25-year history of the Rockies that it happened. Trevor Story takes ball one. A lot like Carlos Gonzalez, Story in the beginning of June has taken off. Third in the National League in average, fifth in slugging since June 1st. Fly ball right field. Yasiel Puig is there. Story is out number 2. Here comes a throw to third, offline, and then Mayhew's in there standing.
Yasiel Puig thinks he can throw anybody out from anywhere. And he's not that far off.
This, of course, is the site of one of his all-time great throws. Trevor Story trying to turn a double into a triple a couple years ago. Puig played it off the wall in front of the warning track and right. Threw a perfect strike to third to get Story. And of course, have been many others just like it. At the corners, 2 gone, and here's Gerardo Parra. First start of the series for him. Chopper to Dozier. And a 0 for Buehler in this first inning. Off and rolling in Denver. The Dodgers won, the Rockies nothing. That tries to normalize for the ballparks that guys are pitching in. And when you take into account all the starts that Kyle Freeland makes here at Coors Field, he's third in the National League in adjusted ERA. Jacob deGrom, Aaron Nola, and then ahead of Greinke and Scherzer is this 25-year-old from right here in Denver. His first pitch of the second is popped up by Max Muncy, and it's 0-1.
He has really mastered the mental side of pitching in Coors Field. Yeah, you can say, oh yeah, well that's easy to say with the statistics, but when you talk to him, when you talk to the people around the Rockies, he really is a tough young man and doesn't think about what's going on around him or what could happen.
Once he gets this one off the end of the bat and in center, Charlie Blackmon. 1-0 Dodgers in the second, and now to face Freeland is Yasiel Puig. We take a look at our Land Rover Performance Spotlight. We've mentioned this a couple times, but you go back to him coming off of the DL in early May. Since then, he's a 300 hitter.
He's the kind of guy that you watched him early in his career for all the excitement and everything that he could do. I'm starting to watch him now because of the consistency and the great ability. Not only are the personality still there, but there's such a consistency to his work ethic and his approach to the game.
Takes a strike. Freeland has delivered first pitch strikes to all 7 Dodgers. High misses, 1-1. Living a dream. This is a guy that grew up a Rockies fan. He was born 1 month after the franchise's first game. 1 ball and 2 strikes. There's a baby photo of him that went around when he made his debut last year of him in a Rockies onesie. Used to go on the field pregame. They have Little League parades. They actually had one today, and Kyle used to walk down in the field as a kid. Puig unloads on a ball and forget about it. 2-0 Dodgers on a missile from Yasiel Puig. Silky smooth swing right there.
When he swings the bat like this and plays defense the way we've seen, he reminds me of Bo Jackson. Just an amazing, powerful athlete, and he is starting to put it together on a daily basis where you have to be intimidated by this guy when he steps in the box. Before it was like he was a mistake hitter, or is he in the mood to swing now, or is he going to be taking? What is the approach? You couldn't figure it out. Now it looks the same almost every day.
Got to get him that ball. 100th of his career. Ball on a strike on Austin Barnes. And that swing is effortless. When Puig's not right, you see him really try to use all that muscle that he's got. And grip the heck out of the bat. That swing was the opposite of that. Barnes looks at strike 3. 2 out. And we look back at Puig's home run on StatCast AI powered by AWS.
Well, it was a very relaxed swing, relaxed grip, which was fantastic. 104 miles an hour, just a tick over that, 26 degrees.
I was worried he had broken StatCast there when the yellow trail didn't follow the ball, but Buehler. Strike.
Yasiel released the top hand on that swing, but the bat speed was still continuing, so it wasn't like he was fooled. He was just continuous extension.
You think he wants the ball? You think he wants number 100?
Do you know where it is?
About the 10th row. Buehler punches a bouncer through for a base hit. 4th career major league hit for Walker Buehler. Keeps things alive here in the second.
I think Yasiel would appreciate the 100th home run ball. He seems like a huge fan of the game outside of what he tries to do on a daily basis.
Well, how about we put on the wireless microphones and let's go find it for him.
Or we could just walk over to the home booth and have them say it. Maybe the guy out there in left field will hear about it.
That's not nearly as good of an adventure. Brian Dozier. Strike 1. Bounce back to Freeland. That's down for the Dodgers in the second, but they've gotten a run in each of the first 2 innings. Riding the extra bases, double and a triple in the first, and a home run from Puig in the second. Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by the Southern California BMW Centers. Hurry in today to the BMW Summer On Sales event for exceptional offers. Details at SoCalBMW.com. And by Carl's Jr. Yasiel Puig's 100th career home run has the Dodgers in front 2-0 as this game goes to the bottom of the second. And Ian Desmond gets ready to lead things off against Walker Buehler. Very important series between these teams. Dodgers tied for first with the Diamondbacks. The Rockies, despite going 3-7 in August so far, are within 2.5 games. Buehler to Desmond with ball one. And it could still, if one of these teams wins both of these final 2 games of the series, that's a big time swing. And both the standings and the momentum with just a month and a half left. Big bouncer, Machado.
If the Rockies wouldn't have had their disastrous performance from the key ingredients in their bullpen, they'd probably be in first place by 4 or 5, and we can go ifs and buts with every team of the 3 teams, but that is one of the glaring areas for the Rockies for sure.
Last night's hero, Ryan McMahon, takes a strike. We go from one Southern California infielder, Nolan Arenado, to another in Ryan McMahon. Both guys from Orange County. McMahon just 23 years old, taking a high strike 0-2. There's that home run against Zach Roscoe.
This was exciting for the Rockies and their fans, and it was really exciting for McMahon coming around second. Boy, he went crazy.
Buehler gets him with a high fastball, 98, which he's consistently been at over the first couple innings.
Blows it by him.
Dodger killer, Chris Iannetta. Came into this series 1 for his previous 25. He is 5 for 8 with a home run in the 2 games. To the bottom of the zone, strike 1.
Seems to swing the bat really well against the Dodgers, hits the ball hard, really seems to think like the catcher, and right along with our pitching staff.
And an 0-2 hole here. Back to the fastball, and it was foul. .35 years old in his 13th major league season. Pulls it softly to Turner at third. Walker Buehler's got a 1-2-3 second. Reds are with us tonight to the third, 2-0. third. Manny Machado to lead the inning off. When we take a look at our Carl skim, been a pretty good night so far.
He squares it up. Behind him, Justin Turner squared it up. That was the first run. But Manny Machado with his defense, spectacular out there. He continues to impress us on both sides of the ball.
Kyle Freeland has got an ERA around 2 in this ballpark this year. He's already given up 2. Wraps one around the plate, ball 1. '26-year-old Manny Machado on a 1-0 pitch. Gets under it. Pops it weakly on the right side of the infield for Desmond on the first out.
You've mentioned that Kyle Freeland grew up in the area here, come to Rockies games. You know, I wonder if that helped build his toughness for this ballpark. Watching as he was growing up how tough a pitcher needs to be to pitch here and to pitch well. It's not something that all of a sudden shocked his system when you grow up in the area.
Both watching what the Rockies are doing in this ballpark and pitching it in yourself, you know, your whole life.
Just the experience of what it's going to take to win here, and probably get fed up with the negative attitudes about it.
1-0 on Turner.
It's one of the things that Bud Black really instituted when he became the manager here. Is I don't want to hear about the ballpark effect. No excuses. So you don't see the quotes in the papers from the guys. You don't hear about it in the food room or on the bus or the team playing. Don't have conversations about it. Their job is to go out and win and succeed.
Turner bangs one to right center field. Gonzalez turns and watches that thing clang off the wall. Holds him to a single with a true bounce. Turner's 2 for 2 and 6 for 10 in this series.
This adjustment that he has made to his swing and approach has been significant. It hasn't just been a quick fix. Sometimes you'll have a fix and it'll work for a day or two, and then we've watched guys like Jock Peterson, Cody Bellinger, different people go back to their old style, maybe even readjust. Well, Justin Turner, this one move of opening the stance has really cleared the bat path.
1-on-1 out. Here's Hernandez. Taking ball 1. Justin Turner, small handful of guys, one of a small handful of guys that you can refer to as a hitting savant, I think, and how deeply he thinks about the art of hitting. Two and 0. Part of it for Turner is he's had to be a step ahead with the way that he thinks the game, because he's always kind of been a late bloomer. He had a great career at Cal State Fullerton, but you know when Justin Turner got to Cal State Fullerton, he was 120 pounds. It's not like things have come easy for him. Green light for Hernandez, fouls it back 3-1. You know, Justin was 30 years old. He was in his 7th major league year when he finally got his first opportunity to be an everyday guy. You think about what he did last year in the first half. He was hitting .377. He had to wait some more to get voted to the All-Star game. Ground ball left side. McMahon will go to second 1 and a double play. For 0 put up by Kyle Freeland tonight to the bottom of the 3rd.
Watch every out-of-market regular season game, plus get a free subscription to MLB At Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv to take advantage of this special offer.
Dodgers in front 2-0 as Walker Buehler delivers ball one to Kyle Freeland. Buehler got a hit against Freeland. Freeland will try and return the favor. Guy who was a big-time outfield prospect. 1 ball and 1 strike. As a senior, and everybody puts up good numbers in high school as a hitter, but Kyle hit .631 with 6 homers in 19 games. Coors Field effect. Denver effect. But it really wasn't until he put up big performances in the Cape Cod League while he was at Evansville that he became a big prospect as a pitcher. 2-2. The Rockies drafted him in the 8th, or drafted him in the first round, 8th overall. 3 years later, he was in the majors. Now in his second big league season. He strikes out, 1 away in the 3rd.
Walker Buehler threw more balls to him than he did the whole last inning. Only 10 pitches last inning, 9 strikes, 1 ball. A beautiful inning, and continuing it here, getting that pitcher out.
Second time through, here's Charlie Blackmon. These Rockies have seen a bunch of Walker Buehler. Half of his 8 games in September last year as a rookie were against Colorado. And he's already made 2 starts against him this year. May 21st at Dodger Stadium, gave up just 1 run over 7 innings. That was the game where he got hit in the ribs by Trevor Story's line drive. And then on June 2nd, 4 runs over 5 innings. That's strike 1 and 1. Working quickly right now, pumping it in at the knees, 1 and 2.
He's commanding that fastball to both sides of the plate. Also throwing it down a little bit more often, which I really like. Chance to have them put it in play, get a quick out, or it sets up the fastball up later in the at-bat to put him away.
Sticking with it, 2 and 2. Buehler to Blackmon. Inside, full count. Started him with a slider, now 5 consecutive fastballs. And on 3-2, back to it, walked him. Second free pass issue.
Well, the control was there, but not the command. He was hitting both halves of the plate where he wanted to, but just off the edges.
1 on 1 out. Here's LeMahieu. Explain the difference between control and command.
Control, you get it in the vicinity and you get it for a strike usually, and command is hitting your target precisely. Some people, you describe control as a guy who doesn't walk people, so he's a control pitcher, but the command of the edges then allows you to strike people out. Walker, with his stuff, doesn't need to be a complete precise command pitcher. He can be a control pitcher with solid command, meaning get it in the strike zone, more halves of the plate for him, more when I want it up, it's up, when I want it down, it's down, but it doesn't have to be specific.
It's back in there, 1-1.
More like that, you know, that's just 97, okay, that's exceptional, and it's outer half. I'd like to see it either a little higher or a little lower, not just that kind of thigh high, but his stuff, he can be aggressive with it.
Let it eat, as they say.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Rockies stole 3 bases last night, season high for them. Buehler checking on the speedy Blackman, and now dealing 1-1. Good stop by Barnes.
Walker fills the strike zone with the 97, 98 mile-an-hour fastball. When he goes to throw the slider and the curveball, they don't have to be as precise because he's going to get everybody geared up for that other speed.
Hard hit. Dozier with a diving stop. Gets it to Machado. The new guys turn a beauty. Dozier to Machado for a double play.
Special in a lot of places. The grab, then Machado reading the flip's going to be short, so using the momentum to get the 1 out at second to get the 2nd out at first.
One 100th home run. The Los Angeles Dodgers with a 2-0 lead over the Rockies. Kenley Jansen, Dodgers closer, on the disabled list yesterday with an irregular heartbeat. Andrew Friedman gives us an update.
The quality of life aspect and his health is the most important thing. And then when we get to Monday, I think we'll start thinking about the baseball part as the cardiologists tell us that we can, and start thinking through, how to keep him in as good a shape as he can based on what he's able to do. But all in all, it's really positive.
Kenley Jansen scheduled for a follow-up appointment on August 20th. The Dodgers will have a much better idea of a course of action or a timetable for his return at that point.
All right, Alana. Matt Kemp leading off this 4th inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. The key thing to keep in mind is the first thing that he mentioned, and it's quality of life thing. First and foremost for Kenley, that you want to be very sure of. Two and two. Didn't miss by much. Good take from Kemp. Full count. The Dodger bullpen in this month of August with an ERA above 6. Grounded to short. Easy one for Story. Wide throw, but Desmond able to stretch and grab it. So it was already an area that folks are keeping a close eye on to see how it was going to hold up over the final couple of months, how it would evolve with starting pitchers moving down there. but it's even under more of a microscope now with Jansen being down. Here's Muncy with one out.
Well, the Dodgers are going to have to work from an area of strength again, which is their depth. Just a lot of role changes. When I think of Kenley, I think of somebody really that is irreplaceable. You're going to have guys that are going to be able to come in and get the job done, and they're going to be in different roles, but of anybody on the 25-man roster, there's not a lot of backup closers usually.
Exactly.
You've got other guys you can fill into a rotation as Clayton gets healthy, as Rich Hill's blisters heal, as Walker Buehler's ribs heal. You got other guys that you can put into the middle innings in the bullpen. You got guys that can toggle around in your everyday lineup to cover for Justin Turner being out, or somebody being in a slump, or somebody needs a rest. You put up another lineup for a while. It's hard to find another closer.
Once he climbs the ladder, fouls it off. They're unique. You know, the guys that can come in the ninth inning and you pretty much are sure the game is over. Those guys are unique. There's not even 30 of them. Not even every team has a guy that they feel about like the Dodgers feel about Kenley Jansen. Once he down on strikes. 2 out.
And I think there's probably 3 or 4 guys on good pitching staffs that could be the closer, but usually the other one, other than the current closer, it's 3 starters. You know, I would grab Rich Hill and Clayton Kershaw and, you know, Walker Buehler and go, okay, you guys can close. But they're so valuable in the rotation that you try and find another reliever that's on the staff that's throwing the ball well to do it. Maybe because the Dodgers have such great depth, there could be somebody that comes out of the rotation that does it.
Oh, 1 to Puig. Of course, the obvious one is the guy that did it last year, Kenta Maeda, transitioning down to the bullpen and was a real weapon from there. There's been discussion of that taking place again. There was already discussion of it. It's just this may accelerate it. Puig hit a long home run his first time up there. Freeland coming inside with an 0-2 and missing. There's that home run we're talking about, number 100 of Yasiel's major league career.
It was a beauty. Boy, he stayed very still, just rotated around his center of gravity. There wasn't a whole lot of weight shift right there, just strength.
I say this often, but nobody can make taking a pitch look as cool and as fun as this guy.
We should do a whole B-roll for music on Yasiel Puig taking a pitch.
Two. Got him. First 1, 2, 3 into the game from Kyle Freeland. He's got 5 Ks, but trails 2-0.
taking a look back at Justin Turner and Chase Utley's off-season trip to Dubai, where they toured the lively city and tried their hand at playing cricket. They also pronounced it correctly. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers, presented by Cadillac, Friday after the postgame show on Sportsnet LA.
Barnes and Bueller were a little bit late getting out there to warm up for this inning, so we've got a second to tell you about cotton candy.
I want to hear it.
Because we did a little research on it after we wondered out loud where it came from last night. So it's made, first of all, and I think we kind of knew this, but it's made by liquefying sugar, spinning it through tiny holes, and then it kind of crystallizes, becomes that wonderful sticky goodness. Some say that its origins go all the way back to 15th century Italy. They used to make it in pans with forks. It's kind of I don't know how exactly, I wasn't there, but I'm told.
Okay.
The most popular origin story, though, is 1904. And you joked around that dentists must love it because it keeps them in business. Would you believe, as Walker Buehler fires in a strike to Carlos Gonzalez, would you believe that a dentist invented cotton candy?
No, but I believe everything if it came from Wikipedia or wherever your research was.
I thought you were going to say you believe everything I say, and then you went Wikipedia on me. 1 ball, 1 strike. So yeah, a dentist and an entrepreneur created cotton candy and sold it at the World Fair in St. Louis. That's foul, 1 and 2. They called it fairy floss. And I'm told that it's still called fairy floss in Australia. They sold it for 25 cents a box. And in 1904, that's the equivalent of $6 in today's money. They sold 68,000 boxes of fairy floss at that World Fair and made the equivalent of more than $400,000 of today's money off cotton candy when it was debuted. So there you go. Full count on Gonzalez with the Dodgers in front 2-0 here in the 4th.
It was a little too thick to be fairy dust.
Right.
Kind of when Disney kind of came out with pixie dust and fairy dust and that kind of stuff.
Leadoff walk for Gonzalez. It's been on both times, and Buehler has walked 3 tonight. So here's Story, who hit that 108-mile-per-hour laser back at Walker Buehler on May 21st. Fractured his rib cage, didn't realize it at the time. Not only did Walker stay in that game and pitch 2 more innings, he made 3 more starts after that before going on the DL. Strike 1 on Story.
Walker's always been very, very tough. I think people know the story of the Dodgers drafting him knowing he was going to need Tommy John surgery. Pitched with a bad ligament in his elbow for a while at college. Finally had to succumb to the surgery. It was still drafted near the top by the Dodgers.
He started feeling that pain in his forearm during his junior season and knew the risk that he'd run by pitching through it with the draft coming, but he wanted to help his team, and so he fought through it, kept on pitching. Tells you a lot about him. Story dribbles it by the bag, and it stays at 0-2.
Dr. Frank Jobe has saved so many careers and probably has more wins and more saves and more pitches in the big leagues than anybody in inventing that surgery to transplant a ligament after you blow out the one in your arm. Give you a new one.
We were talking a minute ago about that line drive that Story hit off Bueller. That is it. A huge baseball-sized well bruise there. And Story went around. That's strike 3. Third strikeout of the game for Bueller. One away in the 4th.
It was close, but they got the call.
One on, one out. Here's Parra. Fastball is up, 1-0. Ball on a strike. The veteran Parra, who's 1 for his last 18 after grounding out softly his first time. Signed when he was 17. Was an 04. Debuted when he was 22. Hit a home run in his very first at bat in the bigs against Johnny Cueto. From the Diamondbacks to the Brewers to the Orioles. Third season in Colorado now. Final year of the contract that he signed before 2016. Swings wildly on a pitch that bounced in front of the plate, and it's 1-2.
When you've got top end velocity of almost 100 miles an hour, you're going to get a few hitters that are just cheating on your fastball, and that's what that was.
See what he goes 2 on 1-2. Buried it. This time Parra took it.
A little bit of that cat and mouse game when all of a sudden you realize that you got a guess hitter at the plate. Not all the time do they continue to guess when they have 2 strikes, but they have definitely shown their hand that I can't catch up to your fastball unless I start early.
Went back to it, and it was ripped to center base hit. First hit for the Rockies since the first inning, and they're at first and second with 1 out.
Well, he started on time. I don't know if it's early, but he started on time and met it. It was a nice piece of hitting. Put that thing right back up the middle off the center of the batting cage if that's where he was hitting.
Here's Ian Desmond. The Rockies over the last 2 games now 0 for 15 with runners in scoring position, and that has been the biggest issue during this rough run for them. Perfectly placed at 97, 0-1. Desmond thought it was low, but plate umpire Quinn Walcott says strike 1. Obviously the bullpen has been a problem too, but when you look at the names and you know the ballpark they're playing in, you'd figure that the offensive numbers collectively would be better than they are. Below 4 per game in the second half. That's runs per game. Gonzalez at second, Parra at first, and Bueller home 0-2 with a fastball away. Ball 1. shot to right. Puig towards the corner to flag it down for the second out. Now he throws back to first, and it's a double play. Parra had gotten all the way to second. The inning is over. Just like that, the Rockies mounting something, it comes to an end.
It's a great play by the defense, and then Yasiel Puig, he said, thinks he can throw everybody out. Well, one of the names is Parra.
Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Try something different like Jack's Teriyaki Bowls. Only at Jack in the Box for a limited time. Back here at Coors Field, game 3 of 4 with the Dodgers in front 2-0. Turner with an RBI triple in the first. Yasiel Puig with a home run in the second. And now Barnes, who took strike 3, called his first time, taking ball 1. Well, Barnes, a late lineup addition. Dave Roberts initially had Yasmani Grandal in there, but then said, you know what, this should be 4 days in a row. Well, the day game coming tomorrow. Let's get Yasmani off his feet. And while Barnes is giving them next to nothing offensively this year, he continues to be one of the best in baseball at framing pitches. Here are the top catchers in baseball at getting pitches on the edges of the zone called strikes. Austin Barnes ranks 3rd behind a couple of Diamondbacks, and Yasmani Grandal is tied for 5th.
So you take a ball that's about a ball or ball and a half away from the strike zone, and you catch it in a way to make it appear to be a strike.
McMahon, 1 out.
And that's what is known as framing. So those guys at the top of the list, including Austin Barnes, have very large framing capabilities. And they also don't take strikes out of the strike zone either. They're able to have very strong hands that when a ball is moving away from the strike zone, they're able to capture it and hold it and give the image that it's a strike also.
Walker Buehler, who singled to the right side his first time, shoots one towards the middle here. LeMahieu backing up, picking it on a bounce and throwing him out just in time. Two gone in the 5th. Here comes Brian Dozier, and we look back at his fantastic defensive play on our Arco top-tier play.
Well, you got to get a great jump, then you have to have amazing hands, and then the agility to flip it from his glove. Machado really helped him out also by charging the flip, understanding the velocity wasn't enough, and using that forward momentum with the wrong-footed throw to record the double play.
Up until a few weeks ago, you could watch that highlight and squint and imagine that it was Dodger blue that it was in, but it'd probably be an all-star game that you're watching a play like that with Dozier in a Twins jersey, Machado in a Orioles jersey. That's low. 2-0 on Brian. Couple ground outs tonight. First semblance of a slump in his time in a Dodger uniform. 1 for his last 14. Takes a strike. 2-1. Two and two. For Kyle Freeland, the single run in the first, single run in the second. He's faced the minimum since. Looking for another 1-2-3 inning. Instead, it's a full count on Dozier. We'll do it again. Another 3-2, and Brian Dozier takes ball 4. Freeland wanted that outside corner, missed by a couple of inches. It's the first walk that he's issued tonight, and it keeps his 5th inning alive for Manny Machado.
Anytime you can get Manny Machado to the plate with a runner on, I don't care if it's 2 outs or no outs or 1 out, that's a good situation. Starting to look more comfortable in the batter's box again. Not quite as fidgety as when we saw him kind of slumping and striking out.
Above 370 the average, last 5+ games for him. Takes ball 1. And we've seen both sides of it, because that opening series in a Dodger uniform in Milwaukee, he was as calm as could be. Wasn't chasing anything. Starting to get back to that. Nice pitch, 1-1. Back-to-back changeups. That's a pitch that has improved for Kyle Freeland this year.
More strikes with it, a few more chases, but that definitely has helped the fastball, breaking ball combination.
Actually improved it thanks to a tip kind of second hand from a Dodger great. So the bullpen coach here is Darren Holmes, and he had Kyle Freeland really dig in with his back foot while throwing the changeup. And that's a tip that Darren Holmes, while he was a Dodger minor leaguer, got from Johnny Padres. So you can use the same arm action, same arm speed and everything with the deception.
Oh, bury your back foot, bury your back leg, have a dead back leg. There's a lot of different ways that people coach it to See what it triggers for you.
I believe the term the kids are using these days is the stinky leg.
Really?
Yeah. As you saw.
Okay. I didn't know where you were going.
Freeland gets Machado swinging. We're halfway home in Denver. The Dodgers lead at 2-0. The bottom of the fifth. I came a little before he did today, and I've forgotten cufflinks. And I texted him and said, "Hey, I forgot cufflinks. Can you bring me an extra pair?" Check this out. I should have known.
Oh, you don't have them on?
Well, it's
you did
warm
earlier.
out. I took them off. Look what he brought.
Bulldog cufflinks.
Yeah.
Ah,
Thanks, buddy.
you got it. I want those back. No, not now. In case you need them later.
I need them again. In case we come on
like
camera
our
and I want to
post-game
look
hit,
buttoned
you
up.
might want to button up, or our post-game hit.
Mid-game, though, they just go in my pocket.
Okay.
The Bulldog in my pocket.
Oh, great.
Ryan McMahon yanks one to right. Yasiel Puig coming on to put it away for the first out of the fifth. Yasiel Puig has been positioned well for each of the last two hard-hit balls by the Rockies.
Both he and Machado have helped offensively and defensively. Some nice glove work by the shortstop and the right fielder.
2-0 in the fifth. The hitter is Zionetta. Fielder buries a fastball, 1-0. D-backs and Reds are tied at 2 in the seventh inning in Cincinnati. The Reds shut the Diamondbacks out in the first game of that series last night. Tonight, Diamondbacks got out to a 2-0 lead and a home run from Eduardo Escobar. That's fly to left field from Matt Kemp. The Reds tied the game on an RBI hit from Matt Harvey, of all people. So 2-2 in the seventh inning in Cincy. Here's Freeland with 2 out. Arizona embarking on a road trip right now. 10-game trip where they play last place teams in all 10 games. So the Dodgers, as they continue their run against contenders, the Diamondbacks with an opportunity to go on a bit of a run here. But 0-1 to open that trip. One. So they have that 12 games in a row against losing teams, but then 30 of their final 35 against teams with winning records. And that includes 7 with the Dodgers. Final 2 days of August, first 2 days of September. And then games 157 through 159. Right down the middle with a fastball, strike 3. Buehler with a lightning quick 5th. Needed just 8 pitches. He leads it 2-0 to the 6th. For baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. Justin Turner 2 for 2 tonight with an RBI triple in the first inning. His first triple in 3 seasons. And then a smooth swing to bang another one off of the wall. He settled for a single in the 3rd. Justin in this series now, Orl, is 6 for 10.
There was a time when he came back from the DL that the lineup just needed his presence. His production wasn't up to his particular par, but now not only his presence, but the bat has gotten hot, and he has really solidified that third base corner for the Dodgers.
Former Oriole, former Met, who has talked before about how much he learned from David Wright in his time playing in New York. And the reason I bring that up, did you see the news about David Wright today? That is strike 1 from Freeland. He's beginning a minor league rehab assignment. It looks like David Wright might come back.
That would be outstanding.
One. Wright has missed most of the last 3 years. And it would look like, with back and neck issues, that his career, it's a good chance it'd be over. But he's giving it a go. Two and one. Ball 3 on Turner. Hernandez and Kemp to follow. Ground ball to third on the short hop McMahon.
Find out if you're a Dodgers good luck charm by purchasing a 3-game mini plan. If the Dodgers win all 3 games you pick, you'll win tickets to Fan Appreciation Day, be recognized on the field, and get a specifically designed good luck charm t-shirt. Visit Dodgers.com/mini plans.
Hernandez 0 for 2 tonight. And 6 for his last 44. 1-0. Two balls, no strikes.
That count built on two very good takes. Those were borderline pitches that were well executed, but Kike just spit on them.
That's a strike.
Working the edges, being patient to find something in the middle of the plate that he can attack.
Instead takes ball 3. Freeland's faced the minimum since the second inning. Dodgers just 1 hit, 1 walk since. On a 3-1 pitch, Hernandez takes ball 4. Second walk issued by Freeland tonight. And it brings up Matt Kemp.
Chris Iannetta doing a nice job here, the veteran catcher, talking to the youngster. And I'll bet you he's telling him how high quality those pitches were, and they just didn't offer at him. But don't change a thing. Don't lose your confidence. Just keep throwing the ball like that.
Misses with the first one to Kemp. Reach that time of night where it can be difficult with that sun piercing through there, you can see. First baseman. Kemp goes after the low pitch, lifts it foul, 1-1.
Changeup is such a big weapon when you start to lose your command. You know, your catcher comes out to talk to you, so the hitter's thinking, okay, he's telling him to fill the strike zone here. You got good stuff, get back in there. Well, they start him out with back-to-back changeups, thinking Iannetta as a veteran catcher, all right, the veteran hitter thinks we're going to throw one right down the middle, get ahead. I'll take the speed off of it.
They came back with a fastball, and it was foul. Got him swinging.
He's thrown a few of these cutters down and in under right-handers' hands, and you can see it's almost like a little low three-quarter delivery, so that ball just continues to break as it buries under your back foot.
That's the 7th for Freeland today. One of those was against Max Muncy, who was 0 for 2. Strike 1. '90th pitch of the game for Kyle Freeland. Will come after a throw over. He's exceeded 103 consecutive starts, and in most of his starts this year, he's reached 100 pitches. One of the best in the National League in a lot of ways this year. Another in 2.
Kike broke like he was stealing, but shut it down Called off the jam about halfway, knowing he didn't get a very good jump. Maybe a third of the way, halfway would have been a little too much. But
second time he's got Muncy on strikes. He's got 8 total at the bottom of the 6, 2-0. Solid Dodger defense tonight. Solid's probably an understatement with some of the highlight reels we've seen.
extra outs can really hurt you in this ballpark. So anytime your defense can retort a routine out and then get you the exceptional out, it really shortens the inning for the Colorado offense. That is a big help to Walker Buehler.
Dozier and Machado both coming up with nice plays tonight. So is Puig. As this game moves along to the bottom of the 6th, top of the order for the Rockies, and strike one on Charlie Blackmon. It's just pitch number 70 for Buehler. Talked about it coming into the series, and that was even before the Kenley Jansen news, but always important for the starters to go deep, especially here on a long series.
Nice work by Ross Stripling. Kenta Maeda had to battle to get deeper into the game, but did some solid work to move it along. His outing could have really turned out a lot worse, but he gutted it out. And now Walker Buehler with really the best outing of the 3 starters.
Here's his 2-1. 2-2. I've not seen nearly as many curveballs from Walker Buehler tonight. He dropped one in there at 85, but he'd thrown 47 over the previous 2 starts. Less than 10 tonight.
It might be the altitude. A little harder to make it break.
Crack bat bouncer on one hop. Max Muncy for the first out of the 6th. Gone for DJ LeMahieu. Two talented young pitchers facing off tonight. Kyle Freeland and Walker Buehler. Both performing well. Dodgers getting single runs in each of the first 2 innings. Nothing since. The Rockies with nothing through 5 1/3 against Buehler. Deliver strike one on LeMahieu. 2 very good, 2 very confident young pitchers. Brian Dozier asked Walker Buehler to describe himself as a pitcher a couple days into his time with the team, and Buehler looked at him without hesitation and said, "I'm a lot like Justin Verlander." And Dozier kind of chuckled to himself a little bit, but then after playing behind Buehler for the first time, came away agreeing that there were quite a few similarities. Muncy collides with Buehler as LeMahieu reaches, but that's the smaller concern. And a noticeable limp.
The smaller of the two men took the brunt of the impact, and there's a lot of twisting and turning, and then the impact with the ground. It was very awkward.
Yeah, the way that left leg comes down is the part that makes you cringe a little bit.
Oh, that ankle took a little bit of the heat.
Just took one warm-up pitch and said, "I'm good." This is also the guy who pitched through a torn UCL in his final year of college, and who pitched 3 starts after breaking a rib on a 108-mile-per-hour line drive. So a little collision with Max Muncy. He's going to keep going.
I love it. There's tremendous confidence, knowing you're not maybe at your fullest, but you go, I want to compete.
It's an error on Muncy. LeMahieu's aboard. Gonzalez up representing the tying run. '97, a little bit low, but good to see the velocity there. One on one. Two balls and a strike on Gonzalez. A bullet to left center. Over to cut it off, Hernandez. And LeMahieu stops at second on a base hit from Gonzalez.
Cargo hit a curveball earlier in the game and now stays on a fastball. He really does look like he's back in his prime the way he's swinging the bat. Walker Buehler looks no worse for wear as far as what we see, but there's a little stumble again. Pitching mechanics look fine.
Hairiest situation he's found himself in a while. 2 on, 1 out in a 2-0 game in the 6th. And one of the best hitters in the National League the last couple months, and Trevor Story stands in. First one, ball 1. Looked like Barnes was crossed up.
Yeah, he sure was. Maybe expecting the ball to go the other way, and it just happened to tail. It wasn't a complete cross-up, just an assumption it was going to stay straight. A little two-seam action.
Ground ball to third. Turner's got it. There's one. There's a dig by Muncy and a double play. Walker Buehler through 6. 2-0. Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Yasiel Puig's second inning home run, the last tally for either side. He comes up here to lead off the 7th. Dodgers 2, Rockies nothing. Kyle Freeland delivers ball 1. Well, thank goodness Walker Buehler appears to be okay. Off the end of the bat, looping into center. Puig's second hit of the game. The collision was one thing, but the way that he landed so awkwardly, that was the scary part. His spot is due up after Barnes. Nobody in the on-deck circle just yet, but nobody warming in the bullpen. There's Buehler. Conversation with Dave Roberts, and walk into the on-deck circle. Strike on Barnes. Barnes rips it by the bag, 0-2. Be interesting to see if Barnes reaches and this becomes a potential spot to cash in. Do you pinch hit for him? Or?
There are multiple ways to communicate with your bullpen to get ready, and they had Caleb Ferguson up with his glove and a ball in hand, but when Walker Buehler came out to the on-deck circle after talking to Dave Roberts, Caleb threw the ball away and went and sat back down.
Not good when your pitcher has a grass stain on his shoulder.
And I think Dave was even asking him about, how's the left arm as far as swinging a bat and bunt, because he surely wasn't looking down at his legs or his ankles to say how are they, because he continued to pitch. That left arm, when you're the pitcher, just stabilize the front side It's something a little different when you got to swing a bat.
Talking with Dave again. As Barnes waits on this 0-2 from Freeland, fouls it off.
Well, that conversation with an 0-2 count on Barnes and a man on first is, are we going to still be bunting with one out? Are we going to put something else on, you know, if you really trust Walker to handle the bat?
Taken low, 1-2. Close play. And they'll get on the phone here and see what the video room thinks.
He's got a very strong snap throw. He's not with the full delivery in the leg kick. It's a step off and snap throw over there. Very close.
Play on, they say. It may be worth checking if they hold on to it. Barnes takes ball 2 by the hands.
A couple of borderline calls during this at bat that have gone the Dodgers' way. Pitch to Austin Barnes, he could have maybe got rung up on, and that call at first base. Game of inches.
100th pitch of the night for Kyle Freeland is in the dirt. Barnes has worked it full. Nobody warming in the Rockies' pen either. You could bet that if Freeland doesn't get Barnes, that'll change. Three-two, strike 3. So 1 away in the 7th, and Buehler does come up to bat for himself. Strikeout number 9 for Kyle Freeland tonight, matches a career high. And even with him getting Barnes, there is double-barreled action down in that Rockies pen. Buehler squares and takes ball 1. Brian Shaw on the left, Sung Won Oh on the right. Two guys that contributed that late outburst for the Dodgers in game 1 of this series. That bunt's laid down. Freeland with a look at second will throw to first. Buehler executes, moving Puig into scoring position.
Walker Buehler just gingerly running down to first. Doesn't look like anything is super hurt, but he's making sure he doesn't put any pressure on either one of those legs.
So up to Brian Dozier now to try and bring home some insurance. No runs in this game since the 2nd inning. And if you've watched the first 2 games of this series, or if you've ever watched a game at Coors Field, you know how important each run is. It was 1-1 entering the 7th inning on Thursday night, and it wound up 8-5. A high strike. Brian is 0 for 2 tonight. He has walked. The 2 issued by Freeland. He comes home with an 0-1, and that's ball 1.
don't expect a pitcher's duel here in Coors Field, but boy, these two starters have given us one. They have thrown the ball very well.
25-year-old for the Rockies, 24-year-old for the Dodgers. Paints the inside corner, strike two. Puig at second with two out, and Freeland to Dozier with a 1-2. It's in the dirt. Puig's headed for third, and he'll get there with a face plant and no throw.
Yasiel was very fortunate. This ball goes in the dirt, and then Iannetta cannot pick it out cleanly because he didn't get a very good jump. And then the slide, you see him kind of stick. A little wetter there with the darker dirt around third base. Landing gear grabbed.
Dodgers have turned up that running game here in August. So he's at third with two gone, and a 2-2 that Dozier taps along third and foul.
They've been especially aggressive stealing third base, not really stealing second. And they've done it a lot with two outs.
Putting a little bit of added pressure on that catcher. And add a motivational speaker to his young pitcher. A 2-2. And a ground ball under a leaping Puig and foul.
All he has to do is be on the field anywhere. Batter's box, right field, foul ball back. Okay. Avoiding a foul ball. He is his own highlight reel.
Another 2-2, and Dozier pulls it foul again.
They're working him inside. Fastball down and in. Some cutters down and in. And he's just opening up and getting the barrel through, pulling foul. He gets a mistake, middle inner half. He's looking like he wants to hit a double down the left field line.
He's fouled off 3 in a row. And he's waiting on the 8th pitch from Freeland, who's nearing a career high in pitches thrown in an outing. Chases, strike 3. Freeland, a new career high 10 strikeouts. We stretch in Denver in a 2-0 game. A good one going on in this division race.
San Francisco Giants battling your Los Angeles Dodgers during a 3-game series at Dodger Stadium beginning Monday, August 13th. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/tickets.
Heck of a game going at Coors Field to the bottom of the 7th. 6 scoreless innings so far for Walker Buehler, who stays in despite a nasty collision with Max Muncy and a ball along the line last inning. Delivers ball 1 to Gerardo Parra. Both pitchers have been splendid. Freeland giving up the 2 runs in the first 2 innings, nothing after that. Buehler with a 6 scoreless. That's a strike, 1-1. He's still at just 86 pitches.
You know, he's pitching a little bit more to contact, not using the elevated fastball quite as much as a lot of the teams have started to take with him because he was finishing so many people off. So I like the fact that he's using the bottom of the strike zone early in the count.
There's a good curve, best one of the night.
It had a little east-west movement to it also, not just straight down. It's been really hard for him with his ability to spin the ball and cut through the air to get it to break enough, but that one was sharp.
Roxon deals 1-2. Parra takes the fastball up. 2 balls, 2 strikes with Desmond and McMahon to follow. And Nolan Arenado, remember, available off of Bud Black's bench time. Protective swing, we'll do it again.
That was a curveball, but you didn't see it break very much. But as he started it out on a plane where it really needed air and moisture to kind of grab and break so you can see it, as he starts it kind of backdoored, it just kind of wants to spin and do nothing. You've got to start it on a trajectory at this altitude to almost help it break. That's another one.
Yeah.
You can't throw that one here that goes above your hand when it leaves your hand because there's just not enough air to bring it back to what you're used to. You have to start it and have it leave your hand and absolutely go level or even start it down.
He brings another 2-2, left it up again, and Parra smacked it into left for a hit. More than half of the curveballs that he's thrown tonight have been against Gerardo Parra.
And it's just so hard to make the adjustment. It's not only where you start the curveball, but it's the effort you put at the very end, because if you happen to give it a little extra hand or a little extra twist, it usually makes it pop up. It doesn't allow you to throw it. So the slider and the cutter, like Freeland is throwing, is a lot easier breaking ball to throw at this altitude. Your hand's more on top of the ball or behind the ball compared to the front where it can pop out.
2-0 in the 7th. Desmond to the plate, taking strike 1 as he goes back to the fastball. And Caleb Ferguson goes back to the bullpen mound.
The Rockies lineup has seen him stay away from the curveball. Now Parra has hit it after he threw a few, so they will be looking a little bit more dead red.
Might have been looking dead red, but couldn't catch up to 97.
It doesn't mean you're not going to throw your fastball, but it does mean your spray pattern probably has to be a little tighter because they're going to have a little better timing.
Set for the 0-2. Chopped over first and foul. And boy, first base umpire Sean Barber made the call on that before even seeing it come down in short right. Is that the correct?
Yeah, that was foul.
I know that it was foul,
Yeah,
but
but it's a little early.
Yeah.
But he probably could tell it's going to go beyond first base, and that makes his call, so he made it a little early. So it hits in foul territory. Now, that doesn't mean it's automatically foul. That ball could curve back and go over the bag and be fair. But he got it right.
1-2. Had to be a scary moment for him in his peripherals to see that ball coming down just a few inches outside the line and right after he'd already said foul.
It could hit foul, and what if it hits a portion of the ground that kind of caroms it back towards the bag? Now it goes over to the air, over the bag. That's fair.
Got it on his hands, stayed alive, still 1-2. And Desmond, 19 home runs this season. He's gotten it going after a slow start, although he's fallen on hard times again the last few weeks.
If Walker Buehler decides to throw a breaking ball, he's got to feel like he's at sea level, but he's going to bounce it right on top of the plate, even a foot short of the plate. That's how big of an adjustment he has to make from where he's been throwing them too high.
Stuck with a fastball, 2-2.
I like the breaking ball on the last pitch as far as pitch selection, because you have room to throw a ball on purpose and find your release point. If you think you're going to throw one 2-2 or 3-2, this is the better count to throw it in also.
Got him swinging with a fastball at 97.
Strength against strength, and wins the battle. Going with what feels good and what has brought success tonight.
The left-hander McMahon, who is 0 for 2 against Buehler. Buehler at 98 pitches. Left-hander and Caleb Ferguson ready to go. Dave Roberts going to stick with Buehler. McMahon, last night's hero. It's a ground ball right side. Turner's waiting over there. They get the out at second, and that's all. It was hit so slowly that McMahon's able to reach on a fielder's choice. And in a 2-0 game in the 7th, 2 out.
So a ground ball exactly where the second baseman usually plays in the shift, and it goes 5-4.
I actually got to fix my scorecard. Just out of old habits.
Kind of like 5-4-4.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Strike one on Iannetta. Buehler now 100 pitches into this one, trying to get through 7 shutout innings. Ballpark where, as you know, that is not easy to do. And he found that out the hard way early on in his career. Buehler 3 games in this park before tonight, a 6.75 ERA. His 0-1. Got it by him, strike 2.
It's not only been high velocity, but it has been outstanding location. He has been around the edges an awful lot.
A little bit down and away, 1-2. He was comfortably sat 97 and 98 from the start tonight. No drop off in that. McMahon's at first, 2 gone, and a 1-2 pitch. He struck him out. 98 on what will very likely be his final pitch of the night. A night where he throws 7 shutout innings against the Rockies at Coors Field. for a preview of Access Sportsnet Dodgers.
All right, thanks, Joe. Walker Buehler through 7 innings has been absolutely fantastic. He's gotten some help behind him tonight, Ned.
One way to beat the Rockies at home, got to play great defense. Dodgers have done that tonight.
They certainly have. These two guys will break it down after the game. Plus, Alana has a reaction from the clubhouse. We'll see you in a bit.
All right, guys. Walker Buehler, 7 shutout innings tonight. Leaning on that fastball, which had exceptional velocity to it. Usually does, but even a notch or two better tonight. Who's in, who's out, brought to you by In-N-Out Burger. Goodbye to Kyle Freeland. Hello to Soonwon Oh, who had put up zeros in each of his first 7 games with the Rockies before allowing 2 against the Dodgers in the first game of this series. Strike 1 on Manny Machado.
O will feature the fastball, curveball, slider, and changeup, but mostly fastball slider to right-handers.
Quickly ahead 0-2.
He brings the curve and the changeup along when a lefty comes up.
Rockies bullpen trying to recapture what they had last night after giving up 7 runs in 3 innings Thursday. There's been more of that than there has what they saw last night. Machado strikes out again.
It broke like a slider, but the speed told me it was a curveball that just kind of stayed up. Iannetta wanting it down.
Turner's continued to look great. 2 for 3 tonight. RBI triple and a single. He misses badly. 1-0. Second to be Ferguson for the 8th. Rockies have 9-1-2 coming up. Ball 2.
You watch the games and you see a guy get hot. We're not the only ones seeing how comfortable he is in the box. The opposing team sees that too. He's getting a lot of respect from these at-bats in pitch selection. 2-0 slider right there, the first 2 that tried to make him chase. Didn't even come close.
Three and 1. Justin Turner fouls it off. 3-2.
That's what you hope with a hot hitter. You hope that they'll start going outside the strike zone because they're enjoying swinging the bat so much that they don't wait for strikes. Justin right there, a little anxious.
Oh, gets in on his hands. Caught by Desmond. Justin Turner and Chris Iannetta exchange some friendly words there. Kike Hernandez comes up with 2 out. Kike 0 for 2. His last time he got on with a walk. And it takes off, ball 1. One more game in this series. That'll be tomorrow afternoon. Rich Hill for the Dodgers and Chad Bettis for the Rockies at 12:10 Los Angeles time. And then it's home for those 3 with the Giants. Back to the road after that. 3 in Seattle. A 2-0. Strike 1. Fly to center field. Charlie Blackmon has all kinds of room. 1-2-3 inning for Soonwon Oh. Caleb Ferguson for the bottom of the 8th. But after they announced David Dahl, Dave Roberts went out and grabbed him. Caleb Ferguson is, after all, going to come on for the 8th. We're going to go back to break. By Nissan. One more with the Rockies tomorrow at noon. And then it's home for the Giants beginning on Monday. 3-game series with San Francisco. Giants start tonight 6 games out of first place, as Caleb Ferguson comes on to pitch this 8th inning.
When you look at the earned run average of 3.24, well, that includes as his time as a starter. But as a reliever in 10 relief appearances, a 1.19. So why is Caleb Ferguson in a 2-0 game in the 8th in Coors Field? Because he has been outstanding coming out of the bullpen.
Speaking of outstanding, Walker Buehler tonight, though. 7 innings, 7 shutout innings. And now it's David Dahl to hit out of the pitcher's spot, taking strike 1 from Ferguson. So here we go into the part of the game that is a whole lot different, with no Kenley Jansen looming for the 9th. As we've talked about, it's the trickle down from it. It's not just the 9th inning that changes. It's everything in front of that too. And Arenado, we mentioned earlier, available off of the bench tonight. Ferguson home 0-2. And on 3 pitches, he gets Dahl.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. 96 in on the hands. He has shown tremendous poise since coming to the big leagues and growing very quickly as far as his presence on the mound.
1 out for Charlie Blackmon. We had Zach Rosscup go out there for his 2nd inning last night. Wouldn't have happened if you had Kenley Jansen and the lack of the trickle down from that. Rosscup wound up giving up the game-winning home run to McMahon. They'll try and survive this as best they can. One just misses, and it's 1-1.
When Kenley was with us, and we wish him well, of course, get better soon, get back with us, but this would be a 4-out situation for him. They would have him up in these 2-run games, just in case he needed to go for the 4th out.
When Kenley was with us. God bless him, he's still alive and well, Oral.
Yeah, what was wrong with that? I mean, here in Colorado.
Yeah, I know what you meant. It just sounded funny. 3-1. I didn't want somebody to tune and say, oh my God, no.
I wasn't even close to that intent.
I know. I'm just trying to cover you in case. 3-1 on Blackmon.
Kenley's laughing right now.
A pop fly foul, and it's 3-2. Hello, Kenley. If you're watching, hope you're feeling well. Can't wait to have you back. Ferguson struck out Dahl. Now full count on Blackman. Here it is. Tomahawks a fly ball to right center, but no big deal for Kike Hernandez. 2 gone.
You watch Ferguson in these situations, and you see the poise, you see him fill up the strike zone. That's a reputation that will help you get guys to swing at borderline pitches in 3-2 counts.
With 2 gone, it's LeMahieu. Buckles his knees, strike 1. You know, we talk about guys getting forced into bigger roles than they were used to. Yes, but Caleb Ferguson was forced in his way into that role regardless of had something happen to Kenley Jansen or not. Here's his 0-2. Fouled back. Ball and 2 strikes.
I think that Dave Roberts and Rick Honeycutt are probably trying to figure out their best right-hander to get Arenado out if they have to face him.
Barely get a piece to stay alive.
They might think that their best left-hander to get Arenado out, because I think Scott Alexander's getting up.
Another 1-2. Poke to right. Puig near the sidewall with room. 1-2-3 8th inning for Caleb Ferguson, and more solid Dodger defense, which has been a theme from the start tonight.
Positioning has been perfect, and Yasiel made it pay off with a little bit of a leap over there by the padding. 3 more outs. Tuesday, August 14th at 7:10, when the Dodgers host the rival Giants. The first 40,000 fans in attendance will receive a Rich Hill bobblehead presented by Security Benefit. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
It's Brian Shaw at the top of the 9th inning with the Dodgers in front 2-0. Second appearance of this series for the struggling right-hander in his first year with the Rockies.
Gotten a little better over the last 9 games. Those 9 innings pitched, giving up 9 hits, but only 2 runs. So an ERA of 2 lately, but you're right, he has struggled most of the year.
Yeah, they signed to a 3-year contract for $27 million this offseason. Chris Taylor pinch hitting and taking ball 1. Alexander getting ready to go. For the Rockies in the 9th inning, they have Gonzalez, Story, and Parra due up. It's probably going to be Gonzalez, Story, and Arenado. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, for Chris Taylor, first time this season that he's been out of the lineup with a left-handed starting pitcher for a reason other than an injury. Missed a game against a lefty in Chicago in late June, but that was because of an injury. Product of a couple things. The addition of a right-handed bat, Brian Dozier. Taylor struggles over the last 2 weeks. Shaw's 2-1. Strike 2.
The Dodger lineup today with Kyle Freeland on the mound, a left-handed starter. A couple of hot impact bats of late have been Jock Peterson and Cody Bellinger, but they weren't in there because Freeland is so tough on lefties. Muncy got the nod, but he was the only lefty.
Takes that cutter away, 3-2. Now Taylor his last 11 games hitting 162. After a really good run on that road trip to open the second half. Leading off the 9th with a walk. Harrison Musgrave, as Muncy stands in. Max 4 for 5 in the first 2 games of this series, but hitless in 3 tries tonight with a pair of strikeouts against Freeland. Cutter for a strike. Max Muncy has 5 Coors Field hits in his major league career. 2 doubles, 3 homers. Shaw's 0-1. He fouls it back, strike 2.
Max showing a little frustration right there. I don't know if it was because he swung at what he thought was a ball or that he missed a hanger. One or the other.
Stays alive. Final score out of Cincinnati. Reds 6, Diamondbacks 3. So the Dodgers for the moment in front by a half game. 2 weeks straight now. Those 2 teams have been within a game of each other. The Dodgers and the Diamondbacks. The Rockies lingering 2.5 back. Good lead at first for Taylor as the 0-2 flies home, and Muncy flips one towards the left field corner for Parra on the first out. We were joking around earlier that nobody's more fun to watch do random stuff than Yasiel Puig. In our tape room here in Denver, put together a little reel of all the other stuff.
He's very entertaining, and he's a very good baseball player.
Sounds like a good quote to have on his business card.
Yasiel Puig, I'm very entertaining, and I'm a good baseball player.
You're hired. Settles in with a man at first and 1 out, and takes a strike. 2 for 3 tonight. Oh, by the way, homered in the second, singled in the 7th. That home run, the last run in this game. Yasiel's beard is getting scruffier too. Ball on his strike.
I hope the beard doesn't get too big. I like all the facial expressions we get to see too.
Yeah, we can't hide that.
Yeah. One take on a low and away slider, he goes into like a squat position like he's lifting weights. This take, he goes into a pirouette. Where does he get this? He's just got so much energy, and he's got to expend it somehow.
Yeah, you can't just watch the pitch.
And then he gets mad. They pick off the first, which is part of the game, Yasiel, and he steps out angrily like, I want to hit. Come on.
Good take there, 3-1. He just wants a pitch to swing at. There goes Taylor. Puig grounds it back to Shaw, but the runner moving. There's just one play, and it's at first.
Look what I found. This ball found him. It doesn't get in the glove. I think it hits him in the thigh. Right there in the right hip. Nice little backhand. It wasn't a look where I found. It was actually, he actually made the play on this ball. A little bit flustered on where to take it and what kind of throw. It's a nice grab.
Two gone, man at second. 2-0 Dodgers in the ninth. Austin Barnes, the hitter. Dodgers have had limited opportunities tonight to add on. This is only the second time they've had a man in scoring position since the first. If the inning does get extended, one of the hottest hitters in the National League will come up in Cody Bellinger.
Cody Bellinger in the on-deck circle, left-hander warming up in the Rockies bullpen, so the veteran catcher Iannetta going out and telling him what the strategy is here with this particular batter, and it's okay if we walk him. You've got backup. First base open.
Wouldn't you as a competitor, as a pitcher, say, get out of here, I'm going after him?
Nope.
No?
No, not really. It's one of the things you really have to teach your relievers about. It's the team concept of pitching compared to when we talk about the team concept of offense and giving yourself up, moving the runner over. In some ways, you're giving up the fact that I got to get this guy out so I get something positive, but it might be in the best interest of the team to throw a lot of borderline pitches, let the hitter get himself out. Now, in some ways, right here for this equation, as much as Austin Barnes has struggled this year, Iannetta could have went out there and said, I know there's a lefty up in the bullpen, I know Bellinger's on deck, but let's attack Barnes because he's slumping so bad. I like the equation of trying to get him out, even though first base is open.
Falling behind him 3-0, and now a strike.
3 breaking balls since the visit.
So the message was the first one that you had guessed.
I think so. Yeah, we're going to pitch him tough like every pitch. No matter what the count is in reality, throw every pitch like it's 0-2. See if he'll get himself out.
Taylor at second, 2 out, and a 3-1 pitch. Barnes pops it up. Ian Desmond. To the bottom of the 9th we go. The Dodgers 2, the Rockies nothing. Trying to lock it down. Will it be Ferguson or Alexander?
Scott will be trying to get the ball hit on the ground, get ahead, and forget that it's the 9th inning. Just go out there and get 3 outs. He has done very, very well this season since returning from the minor leagues. And this combination on the 9th a couple days ago were the ones that shut the Rockies down. Alexander got his 2nd save, and Ferguson went an inning and 2/3 before giving the ball to Scott.
That was with an 8-5 lead. This is with a 2-0 lead. With the heart of the order coming up, Gonzalez, Story, and potentially Arenado. Yet to retire Carlos Gonzalez tonight. He singled twice and walked against Walker Buehler, who went 7 innings before that 8th from Ferguson. And here we go to the bottom of the 9th with the Dodgers trying to take a 2-1 series advantage. Strike one. Quickly 0-2. One ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, Joe, usually when the closer goes down, you go bullpen by committee, and with Arenado looming, Scott Alexander being a lefty, depending on how this inning goes, it might be the whole committee to get through it.
Two and 2. Just missed as Barnes tried to pull that one back in. After getting ahead of Gonzalez 0-2, he's missed with 3 in a row.
(0-2 to 3-2 is not a good equation, and right here for sure you want to throw a strike. Make him earn his way on.
The 3-2. He struck him out to the corner with 95, 1 gone.
Exactly that. Not the highest of quality of pitches, but he didn't want to be low. He had been missing to the arm side with the fastball on the last pitch. He just went strength against strength and hit the corner about thigh high.
So he strikes out Gonzalez. Up comes Trevor Story. And to the on-deck circle goes Nolan Arenado, which makes this the key at-bat here. Misses. 1-0 on Story. Strike 1. Two and 1. Scott Alexander, who spent 2 weeks in AAA early on this season, came back a different guy, worked himself into higher leverage spots. And now in the 9th inning, ground ball, base hit. Into the corner for Story. More importantly, tying run to the plate in the form of Nolan Arenado.
Story did a nice job. Scott's had trouble keeping the ball down during this inning. There's a sinker ball pitcher that throws it almost 80–90% of the time. He has not been down by the knees, but Story with a nice piece of hitting on an elevated fastball.
Dave Roberts coming out. Arenado's introduced. Roberts going to go to Chavois. David. Dave Roberts with a tying run at the plate goes to JT Chargois.
His last outing, he ended up giving up a run in Oakland in his second inning, but the first inning that he pitched, 3 up, 3 down, very clean. He needs to take that mentality from that first inning into this time right here. Only looking for 2 outs, but one big one about to step into the batter's box.
Arenado has a home run against Scott Alexander this season. He has never faced JT Chargois. And regardless of what the name is, just talking about the arm that they're using, Arenado's OPS against left-handed pitching is above 1,300. It's below 800 against righties. A man that's hit more home runs than anybody in the National League over the last 4 seasons. Story at second with 1 out. Chargois deals, and Arenado takes ball 1.
There's the battle of the talent, and then there's the battle of the mentality. JT Chargois has to compose himself in this situation, and Nolan Arenado has to make sure that he gets a strike before he swings the bat. He's got to resist the temptation of being the hero.
He just barely held off 2-0. Out of the starting lineup tonight. Tweaked his shoulder last night, something he's been dealing with for the last week or so. Likely back in there today or tomorrow. But using him in a pinch hit role here in the ninth. The 2-0. Strike 1. Throwing himself out of his helmet.
An outstanding pitch right there, 2-0. You don't want to give in to him. He makes a perfect slider. 2 of them blowing away. Arenado almost offered at 1, but that one was excellent.
On 2-1. It's in the dirt and ball 3. Ian Desmond waits on deck.
The pitch selection so far has been 4 breaking balls, and in some ways, Chargois might have been instructed that it's okay if he ends up standing over there at first base. We don't want you to give in to really the heartbeat of the Colorado offense.
Chargois 3-1. Arenado gets hit. Tying run reaches, and the winning run comes up in the form of Ian Desmond.
It's an overthrown breaking ball. It's going to be another slider, but in throwing it as hard as you can and trying to throw your best one, you are borderline throwing a scud, and that's what happened. It just slipped out of his hand and got him in the hip.
Rick Honeycutt out for a visit. Silver lining to this is that you now have a ground ball that can end the game. So it's Desmond. We've talked about this as the series has gone on, but the Rockies looking for somebody to come through in a spot like this. Story with a double against Alexander. Arenado gets hit by Chargois, who now tries to lock back in for Desmond and his 19 home runs on the year. Perfect pitch, strike 1.
And a great catch by Austin Barnes. Borderline low, borderline outside, but he brings it up. You see where the glove ends up? Center of his chest almost brought it up far.
Flied foul, and it's 0-2. Ball one.
Sometimes when you see the pulled sliders like we saw to Arenado, and then you see the overthrown one that backs up and hits him in the hip, that's an extra level of effort. That extra level effort sometimes doesn't work unless you can really maintain it in your mechanics. JT needs to back off just a little.
Overthrows it again, 2-2.
Trust that what you have is enough. You don't have to go for extra.
Here comes his 2-2 pitch. Same spot, full count.
They're easy takes because they're never a strike. They're a ball out of hand.
The set and the 3-2 pitch. Bounced up the middle. Diving stop by Dozier. They get the out at second, and Bellinger knocks it down at first.
This is his second one of the night. They don't turn two, but it is a run saver. Trusting his stuff, good sinking fastball. Dozier from the other side of second base dives on the shortstop side to capture that ball, and another amazing agile play to scoop the ball to Machado for the out.
This one potentially a game saver from the former Gold Glover Brian Dozier. First and third, 2 out, in a 2-0 game in the 9th inning. And last night's hero, Ryan McMahon, stands in. One and oh.
It doesn't get any better than this. 3 teams separated in the loss column by 2 games. One of the first place teams has already lost.
Lifted to right, back goes Puig at the wall and gone, and the Rockies have stolen this one from Chagua and the Dodgers. Just has to clear the yellow line, and it does. And the Rockies have won this game 3-2. That is our play of the game, brought to you by Lexus.
Ryan McMahon has been a hero here the last 2 nights. Arenado removed himself yesterday with a sore shoulder, doesn't start tonight. And then he comes through in a big way after Arenado reaches on a fielder's choice.
Ryan McMahon beats the Dodgers, the Kenley Jansen-less Dodgers in the ninth inning. Series finale tomorrow.